This skill will be looking at used algorithms with branching and repetition. The learning goal for this one is to understand how algorithms and repetition works in algebra. And the success criteria is to be able to follow a mathematical algorithm involving branching and repetition, which is also known as iteration. You can go ahead and find this skill on Essential Assessment in the Patterns and Algebra topic for the Number and Algebra strand. Now I've gone ahead and grabbed only 2 examples for this one because this is a relatively simple skill. But the 2 main ones that I want to indicate, this is the first question, and what we're doing is we're going to, the question says, add 5 to this number and then multiply it by 3. What is the new number? Now firstly, many students always ask what number are they referring to. It's the number in the center of the question, okay? So when we're adding 5 to this number, we're adding 5 to the number 7. And then whatever we get to this answer, in this case we get 12, we're then going to multiply it by 3. So 12 times 3 is 36. In this case, this is your answer. Now, many of the questions follow this format. It asks you to apply a set of rules or steps to a number, which can be found in the middle, and then it's going to ask you for what that number is. So just a key note that obviously we know that adding has to do with plussing, dividing or splitting has to do with that. Multiply is obviously to do with the multiplication sign, and taking away, so take away or subtract, take away or subtract, or even minus as well, has to do with this. Now there's also doubling and tripling and halving. That just either has to do with multiplying it by 2, multiplying by 3, or dividing it by 2 or 3, depending on what the terminology is within the question. So this should be a relatively simple approach. But the other thing I wanted to show you was this right here, which is called a flow chart. Towards the end of the skill, you get questions that have to do with flow charts. And all a flow chart is you start off with a certain number, which in this case is yellow, and there's a set of rules that you have to apply to it depending on whether the number is even or odd. So for this example here, we know that 23 is considered an odd number. So we don't have to regard the even pathway because 23 is not even. We want to go the odd pathway. So the first thing we're going to do is from 23, we know it's odd, we're going to subtract 1 from 23. So 23 take away 1 is 22. And then with this 22, the next step is to say divide by 2. And 22 divided by 2 in this case is 11. And then when the next step says end, we have ended it knowing that our number is 11. Okay, fairly simple. That's all there is to it. All right, go ahead and attempt this skill, and I'll see you in the next video.